Hey YouTube, Tim Eckert here. In this video we are going to solve quadratics by factoring. So let's look at this first one. We've got x squared minus 6x equals negative 8. My first step will be to add 8 to both sides because we want to get one side equal to 0. I'm going to move this over a little bit. So when we add 8 to both sides, we get x squared minus 6x plus 8, and that's equal to 0. I have a negative here, a positive here, so I want to list the negative factors of positive 8, which are negative 1 times negative 8 and negative 2 times negative 4. Okay? We can use negative 2 and negative 4. So we're going to write this in factored form as x minus 2 times x minus 4. That equals 0. Then we'll set each of the factors equal to 0. So x minus 2 equals 0. We'll add 2 to both sides. Two minus 2 is 0, so we get x equals 2 as one of our solutions. And we can also set x minus 4 equal to 0. We'll add 4. Four minus 4 is 0, and we get x equals 4. So x equals 2 and x equals 4. All right, let's go to problem 2. So we're going to solve by factoring. We've got 4x squared equals 9. So let's just write this over here. Okay, so first step, I want to get one side equal to 0, so I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. And we get 4x squared minus 9 equals 0. Now this looks like it follows the difference of squares pattern, and that pattern is a squared minus b squared equals a plus b times a minus b. So if I say a squared equals 4x squared and b squared equals 9, then in this case, let's take the square root of both sides here. So a would equal 2x, and if I take the square root of both sides here, b is going to equal 3. So we can rewrite this equation here. We can rewrite it to, let me fix that arrow. We can rewrite it to 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 3. That equals 0. So I'll say 2x plus 3 equals 0, and I'll subtract 3 from both sides. 3 minus 3 is 0, so we get 2x equals negative 3. We'll then divide by 2. 2's here cancel out, so I've got x equals negative 3 halves as one of my solutions, and then 2x minus 3 equals 0 here. We'll add 3. Whoops, let's fix that. 3 minus 3 is 0, so we get 2x equals 3. Divide by 2. Running out a little bit of room here. So we get x equals 3 halves. So the two solutions here are x equals negative 3 halves here, and x equals 3 halves there. All right, let's keep going. All right, so this one, we want to move it over a little bit here. So we're solving by factoring 25x squared plus 60x equals negative 36. All right, so I'm just going to rewrite this over here. Okay, so I want to add 36 to both sides to get one side equal to 0. Okay, so we're going to get 25x squared plus 60x plus 36 is equal to 0. And I want to see if this fits the perfect square trinomial pattern, which is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared equals a plus b squared. The other pattern to that is if this is minus 2ab, this would be a minus b squared. But we got pluses on this one, so we'll look for this pattern. So if I say a squared equals 25x squared, and b squared equals 36. I can take the square root of both sides here, and I'll get a equals 5x, and b equals 6. All right, so 2ab, so 2 times a times b should equal 60x. So we do 2 times 5x times 6, and that does equal 60x. So we have got ourselves a perfect square trinomial there. All right, so this is going to just factor to a plus b squared. So I'm going to write this as 5x plus 6 squared is equal to 0. Now when I solve this, it's only going to have one unique real solution. So I'm just going to write 5x plus 6 equals 0 because this is 5x plus 6 times 5x plus 6. I only want to set this 5x plus 6 equal to 0 once because there's no point in doing it more than once. Okay, so I'm going to start to solve this by subtracting 6 from both sides here. 6 minus 6 is 0. We get 5x equals negative 6. I'm then going to divide both sides by 5. And my one solution here is going to be x equals negative 6/5. All right. So that's my solution for number 3. Okay, number 4. This one, I told my students in class this was a life fail. I made not a great problem, so life fail. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, solve the following quadratic by factoring. Okay, I want to get one side equal to 0. So if I add 216x squared, that'll give me a positive coefficient in front of x squared, which I like. So we'll do that to both sides. And I'm going to shift this over to the left. All right, right, so I'm going to rewrite this as 216 x squared minus 72x plus 6, and that's going to equal 0. Then I want to factor out a 6 from everything. When I do that, I get 6 times 36 x squared minus, let's see, 12x plus 1. And that's equal to 0. So my thoughts are here that this here is probably a perfect square trinomial. So if I say a squared equals 36x squared, and I take the square root of both sides, I get a is equal to 6x. And I say b squared equals 1, and I take the square root of both sides, I get b equals 1. Now this is a minus here, so this is the second pattern. So minus 2 times a times b is going to be negative 2 times 6x times 1. So negative 2 times a times b. So negative 2 times 6x times 1, that's negative 12x. Okay. So we got a perfect square trinomial here. Boom. All right, so I can write this equation now as, we still have the 6 out here, 6 right here times 6x minus 1 squared, and that equals 0. So now the only part that I'm going to set equal to 0 is this. So I'm going to set 6x minus 1 equal to 0. I'm going to add 1 to both sides here. 1 minus 1 here. And then I get 6x equals 1. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 6. So x equals 1/6 is my solution here. And that's that. All right, let's keep going. All right, next one, solve the following quadratic by factoring. We've got 99x squared equals 11. So I'm going to subtract 11 from both sides. Okay, and if I move the equation over here, that's going to be 99x squared minus 11 equals 0. If I divide out an 11 from both, I get 11 times 9x squared minus 1. Okay, I'm going to let you guys, if you want to check to make sure that I'm right here, but this is a difference of squares. I'm going to let you guys do that. So we have 11 times 3x plus 1 times 3x minus 1. And that is equal to 0. So now we can set 3x plus 1 equal to 0. And 3x minus 1 equal to 0. Okay, so in this one I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. 1 minus 1, so we get 3x equals negative 1. Divide by 3. We get x equals negative 1/3. All right, in this one we're going to add 1. So 1 minus 1, we get 3x equals 1. We'll divide by 3 on both sides. We get x equals 1/3. So these are the two solutions. X equals negative 1/3 and x equals 1/3. All right. Let's keep going. How many more do we have here? We have this one, and that's it. So 2 more. All right, next one we have 81x squared plus 36x plus 4 equals 0. So this one is a perfect square trinomial. I'll let you guys take a look at that. So what we can do is we can factor this to 9x plus 2. So check myself with your a squared and your b squared. Make sure 2ab is equal to 36. But we got 96 plus 2 squared is going to equal 0. So we're going to set 9x plus 2 equal to 0. We're going to subtract 2 from both sides. 2 minus 2 is 0. We get 9x equals negative 2. Divide both sides by 9. And we get x equals negative 2/9 as the solution there. All right. Last one. We got 5x squared minus 35x plus 50 equals 0. I'm going to divide a 5 out of all of these. Okay, so I can rewrite this as 5 times x squared minus 7x plus 10, and that's equal to 0. All right, so now we can factor this into 5 times x minus 2 times x minus 5. That's equal to 0. So now we set each of the factors equal to 0, so x minus 2 equals 0, x minus 5 equals 0. We'll add 2 to both sides here. 2 minus 2 is 0, so we get x equals 2. Here we'll add 5 to both sides. 5 minus 5 is 0, so we get x equals 5 as our other solution. So our two solutions here are x equals 2 and x equals 5. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. If it was, please like and subscribe. Thanks.